good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little lovelies out there. And how I love you all, so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delish. And that life is treating you most deliciously. So I've got to do it at the start. And I hope that you're feeling the love. You continue to feel the love, my little honey bunnies. Now then, my delicious little babies, what's the time, Mr. Walsh? It's 1:30, nearly. PM in our old England, my delicious little babies, in our old Brummyland. And yes, it is raining. If it's raining, it's raining. So it's raining at the moment, my delicious little babies. Well, there's nothing we can do about that. I never complain about the rain, you know what I mean, because we need rain. However, I do complain if it's every effing day. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Then I'm complaining, okay? And this is why they do the things they do. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay, because they want everybody, unless somebody prefers rain. Because there are some, they actually, and I've met them over my decades, they actually do not like going abroad. They prefer to be, you know, I suppose around their own, well, you know, in old England. And they like to travel around, you know, so they're really happy to take the raincoats, the Wellingtons, you know, Wellington. Okay, my delicious little babies, and they're super duper deliciously happy. But for others like myself, I love the sun, and the sun loves me. But we're not seeing any today. My delicious little babies, the wind's picking up as well. Okay. Just to let you know, I'm not allowed to comment again, my delicious little babies. So, how many comments did I send yesterday? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, baby, say you love me 5, 6, 7 times. Yeah. So I'm not allowed to comment again. I think I've got about another 10 hours to go. Do you see there we are. What's going on, my delicious little babies? Yes. See, this is either to do with who I'm sending comments to. Okay, my delicious little babies. You know, well, maybe they're not a liking. Or maybe it could be, I don't know, to do with some of my videos, but they just, there we are, but they just do not say this. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? So for anybody out there who I do send comments to, I am awfully sorry about this, but this is clearly beyond my control. And there is nothing I can do about it. Okay, that doesn't mean yes. Well, I mean, it would be yes if enough got together, you know, and maybe you know, found a way to you know, to build their own like a kind of a YouTube thing, you know what I mean? My delicious babies. You know, nothing is impossible, is it? I can feel a sneeze coming. Okay, I can feel it coming. Oh, is it going to? Or is it not? No. Oh. I'm sorry, my delicious babies, but I felt it coming and I thought, you know what? I thought any minute it's I'm going to go, achoo, you know what I mean? Or achoo. Okay, my delicious babies. So yeah, so I'm back on pause. You're bad. To save the community of YouTube. Okay, my delicious babies. You know something? This happens to myself. There we are, all of the time. All of the time, my delicious babies. I just do not really feel that YouTube likes myself. You know what I mean? It's either those or, you know, to whom it may concern. I do not feel that they really like myself very much. Do you, my delicious babies? Anyway, not to worry. I suppose they see me as a naughty little girl, don't they? You know, it's like, tap, 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 tap. You've been a naughty girl, so you can go and sit in the naughty corner. And you can sit there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or in this case, 24 hours. And you're only allowed to get up when we say so. Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it, my delicious babies? Yes. Now then, it's amazing what they've got away with, isn't it, from the old COVID days, isn't it, my delicious babies? My video probably take rather a longer, there we are, number of hours to upload again, my delicious babies, because I just keep saying things now that they're not a liking. You know what I mean? Well, if everybody done as they were told, well, life would be boring, wouldn't it, my delicious babies? Which leads me to saying. So let's get to the first one, shall we? So this one here, my delicious babies. Now I am going to mention this, okay? I think I've mentioned these quite a while before. Oh, you know what? I forgot my lights, my delicious. Oh, come on. Where are you, little lights? Shine bright. Where are you, little light? Shine bright. There we go. The lights are on, although I've got my old jumper on today, my delicious babies. I was going to actually clean my outside windows. I may still do it. If it pees down with rain again, because it's stopped now, if it pees down again, well, then just forget it. Do you know what I mean? I'll just still do it really quickly. You know what I mean? My delicious little babies, not to worry, not to worry. Now then, my delicious babies. So I mentioned these, I think, quite a while back. With anybody not in that way, apart from one. Okay, my delicious babies. Now then, this uploaded 33.4 thousand subscribers, so the numbers have gone up, my delicious babies. And this one is called, this uploader, they're all on YouTube, capital D dynamic space capital D duo DUO and then space UK. Okay, my delicious babies, that's the uploader. Okay, now this video is just over 6 minutes long. That's not a coding. Okay, my delicious babies, and I'm just going to read out to you. DWP, so this is Department for Work and Pensions, okay, in our old England, my delicious babies. Warning, reports this, okay, wrong, and you could lose your PIP or universal credit. So I'm just going to repeat this again for you, my delicious babies. DWP warning, report this wrong and you could lose your PIP or universal credit. Yeah. So what he's talking about, because what's basically going on, and there's another one of his videos, I never clicked on it, but I've just saw it. It's to do with this surveillance, you know, like that DWP does. Well, to be quite honest with you, my delicious babies, okay, they have been doing this for decades. This is not new. Okay, my delicious babies, it's just that they've got cameras and everything in these, let's just say over the years. Okay, my delicious babies, so they can see a lot more. What they used to do decades ago is if they thought something was suspicious, like somebody was working when they shouldn't be, they would usually get ones. It's a bit like a private detective. I'm not too sure actually how much private detectives are now. I think, could it be, well, it used to be about 65, ka-ching, 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 ching, ching, an hour. You know, for someone to take footage of somebody else, my delicious babies, yes, it's probably gone up now. Well, I suppose they're saving themselves, aren't they? You know, that sort of ka-ching, you know what I mean? My delicious babies anyway. But this has been going on a long time, so there's no surprise. There's no surprise there, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? But the thing is, they cannot get everybody. So, like, if it is construction or whatever it is, that was one of the famous ones, construction, you know what I mean? Because, of course, ones are going to get paid, ka-ching, 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 ching, ching. You know, cash is king, my delicious babies, there we are, you know what I mean? That's the way I've always known it, you know, and if they've got it in the skyrocket, in the hand, in the donny, that's what you call little hands, donnies, you know. Anyway, my delicious babies, if you got it in your donny in your hand, you know, then straight to your skyrocket, you know what I mean? Then nobody sees nothing then, do they? Do you know what I mean? My delicious babies, yes. So what your man here's talking about, what he's doing is he's putting, there we are, mankind correct, okay, who are in difficult situations. Now, I forgot all about this. I was going back months ago now. I never need to stumble here. I spoke to this poor dear woman at a bus stop. This was really sad, actually. I cannot remember why I never mentioned this. And she'd worked all her life. Listen to this, my delicious babies. And this is in our old England now, in our Brummie land, my delicious babies, that this is happening right now. and she worked all her life. Um, but then, was it she become a carer for her husband because she couldn't work then anymore, because, she had to care for her husband, a guy that she worked all her life. And all that they offered her every week, now listen to this, smarty little babies, all that they offered her, so no help with rent, because her dear self and her husband were renting, bless them. Not in that way, not in that way. So they never give her any help with rent, any help with anything, and all she was getting was 54 ching 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 a week, mad little babies. There we are, and that is the truth. I felt really so sorry for her. I thought I wish I could get somebody, or find somebody to help her. Do you see what I mean? So something's not adding up, is it, mad little babies? You know what I mean? The poor woman there, poor dear woman now, bless her, worked all of her life, and then when her husband, bless him, fell poorly, not in that way, not in that way. So she needs to look after her husband now. So they don't want to give her nothing. And I think because, I feel as well, because she was under the, what's it called? What do they call it? Your pension thing or something under that. Anyway, that's all besides the point. I mean, when I used to do tarot reading over the dog and bone, you know what I mean? Mad little babies, phone. I'm going back years ago now. What year was that? I don't know. It's got to be between 2014 and, I don't know, quite possibly 2018, something like that, mad little babies. Well, this woman called me, and I forgot a flipping name now. And she used to call because she was getting herself so stressed out. She was 60. Yeah, because I remember she was 60, mad little babies. She was getting herself all stressed out, and then she was getting angry with me. So then she was, I call it, it's only a figure of speech, mad little babies. It's just an old-fashioned saying. GBH should have flipping ear roll now, do you know what I mean? And you probably think that sounds very nasty. Well, anyway, I do not know what your thoughts are. But actually, it's not. Because she called me a number of times. I kept explaining to her, I says, please save your change, your ka-ching. I said, please save it. I said, please do not call these phone lines, because I was working for a rather well-known, I've worked for all well-known tarot on the old dog and bone, mad little babies. They're all very well-known. Okay, mad little babies over the years. And I said, but you must try and save it. But she got so verbally aggressive with myself, mad little babies. And I said, well, look, have you tried to do this? I was really trying to rack me noddle to find a way to help her, mad little babies, but all she was doing was just flipping, mouthing off to me down the dog and bone, you know what I mean? And I did have to say to her, look, I cannot continue to speak to yourself. There we are. I said, when you are shouting, get me in this manner. And she said, well, I'm calling because I need help. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not the DWP, am I? But of course, I couldn't say that to her. I said, I'm not very knowledgeable in this department. So I was trying to find other ways of a way to help her. These days, they call it brainstorming. Years ago, it's just you just spare a thought, or maybe you ring a friend or something. You know what I mean? Mad little baby, somebody you can help. But anyway, sorry, excuse me. I never heard from her again then. But to be fair, and I'm going to be honest with you, mad little babies, whoever I spoke to, because it wasn't always to do with like love or something, love. It's a love thing. Do-do-do. You know what I mean? Sometimes it could be all different things. Maybe somebody's lost one of the beautiful little babies who we call our sons and daughters, Other times somebody may have lost a dear loved one. So there's all different, and others could have lost their job, others are trying to get another job. So there's lots of different conversations to be had. Okay, mad little babies. But in all fairness, there we are. I gave her quite a large, number of ideas which came straight off my noddle. But each time I gave her the advice, or at least something to look into, food for thought, she flipping run her mouth off at me even flipping more, man. Instead of, saying, well, um, thank you so very much, I will look into that. But this is how it gets you, because if you're in that situation, and this is where it is very sorrowful, because if you're in that situation, what do? You know what I mean? But you have to find your way out of things, you know what I mean, Mads, little babies. I mean, for goodness sake, come on now. There we are, I'm the flipping queen of it. You know what I mean, Mads, little babies. So, if you're stuck in a difficult situation, there we are, you've got to find some way out, haven't you? Mads, little babies, anyway. But I hope that she did sort herself out. I haven't, in all fairness, I haven't spared a thought for her for years, but I hope she sorted herself out, bless, you know what I mean? Oh, bless, anyway, it's just a shame. But that other poor dear woman who I spoke to at the bus stop, oh, bless her as well. I hope that she sorted herself out, she found somewhere. I mean, you see, what she could have done, if she could have done it, I mean, I forgot to mention that to her, actually. She could have done ironing. I used to do that years ago, Marty, little babies, decades ago. Like to get me from A to B. So ones used to say, do you, offer an ironing service, just like a job alongside my other job. Not that I needed it, it was just like a pastime, if you know what I mean. I said, send your ironing over and I'll iron it. You know what I mean, Marty, little babies, that's why you never see me iron now, Marty, little babies. I put washing on. Get it out as quickly as possible, my delicious baby, so that I do not need to wash it, okay? When I meet my forever, if he wants his clothes ironing, of course I will do it for him, because be my little baby, because he's my little honey bunny. Do you know what I mean? Of course I would do it. But if I could get away with not ironing my delicious babies, I've done loads of it. I started to learn to iron between the age of, 10 and a half and 11. And I'm 52, mad little babies, and that's not old, you know what I mean? So I've done so much ironing to last me a lifetime, you know what I mean? Mad little babies. So I just thought I've got a brand new iron. I just never used it. I put out one of these tabletop, these ironing boards. It's called a tabletop. It was brand new, still sealed from Wilco. I don't even know if Wilco still is around now. These are all older names, mad little babies can. And I told somebody about it, and because I had the Brum Brum's wheels, I said, it's brand new. I said, I put it outside. I said, so if you can get up there quickly. I said, if I'd have known, I said, I would have brought it down to you, because I know where his dear mummy and daddy live. You said, not in that way, not in that way. I know where his dear mummy and daddy live, you know what I mean? So I could have just gave it to one of those, if they were home from work. But he drove up and collected it. He says, this is all right, this is. I says, not only that, I says, you've got a hook at the back. And I said, so what you can do, I said, if you've got a hanger, like in an inside cupboard, I said, you can just hang it up. I said, look how flipping compact that is. Do you know what I mean? Instead of carrying around, which I did for flipping decades, these bulky flipping ironing boards. Anyway, Martin, I forgot to mention that to that poor woman. Just anything. Well, not anything, but just, as a find a way. Or maybe she could have done, like what some do, and then they post it on Facebook. That Facebook. Martin little babies, where she could do, cooking or something. Do you understand what I mean? Just to find a way, Martin little babies, but it's home cooking, isn't it? So it's not like these poxy just eat, you know what I mean? I mean, I understand that they need a job, but come on, it's not helping society. It's not very sociable, Martin little babies. It's not good for one's health, So, yes, well worth, I know I've gone on a bit, but anyway, the point is I get to a destination in the end. Very well worth a listen to this channel, Martin little babies. So anybody out there who is concerned with the PIP or the universe credit or something like this now then. But he was correct, because there was only a tiny bit left for me to listen to, but I just need to get my video out. You see, there are so many who are afraid to say that they're not very well, because, you see, then they have everything messed up. You know what I mean? Mad little babies, and then it takes, that doesn't mean, no, I'm just joining the dots, What happens is, they could... So I got what he was saying, okay? So, then they're worried in case, because they're probably in a routine, do you know what I mean, okay? But well worth listening to that channel. Now then, mad little babies. So the next one Okay, I'll do this one last. Okay, so this one here, this uploader happens to have 7.82 million. 7.82 million. See, sometimes you do find these uploaders, Martin babies, every now and again. But they don't come up on my feed. You have to fish for them. You know what I mean? Martin babies. And this uploader is called, right, capital M. Right, so this is Together, Martin babies. Together now. Together. In no man's land. Okay, Martin babies. Capital M, most, capital A, amazing, capital T, top, and then 1010. But it's all together. Okay, Martin babies. Most amazing top 10. That's the upload of Martin babies. I'm not talking to any of our delicious babies with any of these videos who already know these channels. I'm talking to our delicious babies who do not. So, the video should read, and it's not a long video, my delicious babies. It's about 11 minutes, so it's just not a long video at all, my delicious babies. And the video should read, top 10 forgotten people, sheeple. You just people, sheeple. It just rhymes, doesn't it, my delicious babies? Who claimed they were from the future. Okay, my delicious babies. Now, I have seen some of these videos before, actually, over the years, my delicious babies. I'm just going to repeat this again for you. Top 10 forgotten people who claimed they were from the future. Yes, my delicious babies. This is, what is it? Something to do with some sort of program. I don't know if it's, what was it? I can't remember now. Is it so? I've not long flipping watched it. Because I watched so, there we are. I watched so many videos, my delicious babies. I listened to so many. Either, well, of course, CIA would probably be part of this, clearly. But what's it called? The military. Okay, my delicious babies. So, something about this, then something about doing a program or something like this. Anyway, so that's 10 who are forgotten. Okay, my delicious babies. Well, we haven't forgot, have we? That's why I found a video that somebody else uploaded. So we're not going to forget, are we, my delicious babies? We're not going to forget. No. Now, well worth a little listen. Just a little bit of time out of one's day or nights with any of the videos that I advertise, my delicious babies. Now, finally, this little one, okay, this one has 16 my delicious babies subscribers. Now, from what I could see, because this one would let you, from what I could see, this one started on the 20-something of April this year. So they're only a newer upload of my delicious babies. They've uploaded 2 videos. This is the second one. And it's called capital T, the space, capital P, pound, and then capital R, space, report. So it should read, all spaces, the pound report. That's the upload of my delicious babies. And this is only about 3 minutes something, my delicious babies. So it's not very long. And very interesting little video. I mean, I know that there are ones out there. Yes, we know this. There are ones out there, my delicious babies, okay, who talk about finance. I'm crap at finance. I'm flipping shit at finance. Okay, my delicious babies, okay. I mean, I can add some things up, you know what I mean? So I suppose I've got a noddle to do that, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? But I'm not like an accountant, one of these, or what do they call them, mathematical wizards. I'm not one of those. And anyway, apparently, from what we've been taught about mathematics over the decades, that appears to be incorrect, doesn't it, my delicious babies? Yes. Anyway, so, which I've known that we are for a very long time. Okay, my delicious babies. So I'm just going to read out what this video should read. What 100, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. We call it a ton. 100 is a ton. Okay, my delicious babies. So a monkey is 500. Ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Okay, my delicious babies. What 100 actually buys in 2026 versus 2019. And then in brackets, the number will shock you. Yes, my delicious babies, I totally agree. It's only a very short video, my delicious babies, well worth a listen to, but yes, it certainly does shock you. So that's all the videos. There's nothing more to talk about. Is the my delicious babies? You know that middle one there. Okay, my delicious babies is the most amazing top 10. Yeah. Okay, my delicious babies. So that doesn't mean that I just got hair in my face. Anyway, so yeah, it basically, you see, I've talked about inflation before. Now I woke up one morning. I've already mentioned this, my delicious babies, whatever o'clock ago. I woke up one morning and I had it spelt out to myself, no inflation. Okay, my delicious babies, that's what it was spelt out to me from my beautiful dear spirit guides. Okay, if some believe in spirit guides, others do not. Anyway, everybody to their own, each to their own. But I had spelt out to myself, no inflation. Now, I only ever found one other dear elderly gentleman, not in that way, who I did advertise. It's in one of my books, but I'd have to go back and look, okay, because I've wrote an awful lot of information to do with, who I've advertised over my years. Okay, my delicious babies, was only one other who basically the same as myself, that we are told it the way it damn well is. So there is no such word as, there's a word, sorry, let me rewind and start again. So yes, there is such a word as inflation, but why was that word created, my delicious babies? Who made this word up? Inflation. This is not inflation, my delicious babies. This is another effing way to skank us, man. There we are, to scam us. Okay, my delicious babies, that's why when I hear videos, doesn't matter what video it is, does not matter what channel it is, the second I hear inflation, I say out loud, there's no such word, such thing as inflation. Because there isn't. This is another way, right, for these now then, because we've been run by a mafia, to effing flipping rob us, man. That is what it is. So why do ones, okay, everybody chooses what they choose. We must remember, we've been brainwashed with words. There we are. Okay, my delicious baby, this is what ones must remember. And for most of us, there we are. We do remember. Okay, I'm just looking, there's a lot of handles, isn't there? Okay, my delicious babies, but the point is, maybe if we could find some way for some uploaders, I cannot tell them what to do. I could, give a little bit of advice, but I cannot tell them what to do. Maybe try and find another word if they don't want to call ones robbing little bastards. Oh, sorry, slip of the tongue, was it? Anyway, my delicious babies, I'm not changing my video, okay? So if ones are offended with my swearing, well, I am sorry that you feel offended, but I'm not going to change my video because that's what we've been dealing with for decades. No such thing as inflation. I'm sick and tired of hearing that damn word, inflation. And then you've got deflation. You see, one's, like I said, I'm crap at maths. But even I know, ding, ding, dong, dong, that something is not adding up. Okay? And why is it not adding up? Because you can get this, okay, let me just give an example. Let me give an example. A pair of socks. So you could buy a pair of socks for, say, I don't know, let's go back, I don't know, let's just use any old year. Okay, 2024. And you could buy a pair of socks for 4 ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching squids. Okay, my delicious babies. So I'm just sort of, using as an example. So come 2026, that same pair of sock is either worth £6, £6.50 or £7. Okay, or you could even, in some cases, be paying 8 ka-ching, 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 ka-ching for the same pair of socks that you paid 4 squids for. So if you've got exactly the same pair of socks, then why are you paying double or nearly double for the same pair of socks? That is not inflation. That is damn right daylight robbery, as old-fashioned saying goes, my delicious babies. I'm not shouting at yourselves. You know I'd never do that. It is daylight robbery, man. This is just another way, like I said, to shaft us. There we are. Okay, but they use the word inflation to make it sound, oh, yes, well, you know, things just go up for... No. They're robbing little bastards, man. There we are. And ones need to really get their noddle, bless everybody's beautiful, dear little mankind souls. They need to get the noddle around this and stop using the word inflation to make excuses for this damn nonsense. I mean, of course, you know, it's not a nonsense to these because they know that we are fully well what they're doing, isn't it? Just like this hantavirus now, isn't it? Yes. Just another way of skanking, man. There we are. So when one's just going to, you know, I'm not being insulting when I'm saying, I just feel with myself. I do get frustrated because we're stuck in this, it appears, loop with words. You know, you imagine my lats, sometimes they get a little bit tangled, you know, I've got lots of lats, you know what I mean, Martin? But I've got really lots of lats, okay? But sometimes they get a little bit tangled just like that. And sometimes you've got to untangle a lats. It's the same with words. That's what I'm saying, my delicious babies. This is what they've done as an excuse, there we are, to rob us damn well blind. There we are, that is what they're doing. Okay, and I'm not going to say no more, but like I said, I'm crap at maths. I've always hated mathematics anyway. You know what I mean? Cabbage plus flipping carrot plus flipping apple plus flipping pear equals what? Do you know what I mean? My delicious babies, it's just a flipping crock of shart in my view. And how many actually use all of this? You know, Y equals Z equals P equals C. Do you know what I mean, Martinish? But in the real world, ones just want you to just get down, there we are, and get your flipping job done. Now, mind all this silly business. Do you know what I mean, Martinish babies? Yes. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. You know. And, well, that's all I've really... I could talk about... There we are. I could talk about so many other things. But... one of my annoyances is that, because it is not inflation. I'm sick and tired of hearing that damn word. It's not inflation at all. It's just another way to rob rob everybody. Okay? Just like when they do things around the world, you know, even in our country, you know what I mean? And they, you know, they put either heavy rain pours or something like that now, then hoping that ones will sell, you know what I mean? And then they go and buy the land, and what they do the same in the world. Okay, my delicious babies, so what do? They use control of, you know, above us. What we're supposed to call it, a scar. That's what we're supposed to call it, my delicious babies, scar. So you have to see, there we are, how to operate. But this word that's been flown around, inflation, well, ones just need to really start looking, there we are, I feel, there are a lot more closely at that word. Well, that's just a good piece of advice. My delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying to you. This is why we're in the damn mess that we're in. You know, if you're buying a pint of milk, as another example, ka-ching for a squid, why should that same pint of milk then, there we are, you go to the shop a week later, just as an example, and then it's costing you 2 ka-ching for the same pint of milk? So something, you know what I mean, isn't adding up, is it, my delicious little babies? That's what I'm saying. And then when they're not doing that, they're freezing items, you know, in the supermarkets. They're freezing them for a year or whatever, wherever it's came from. Then it, you know, lands on, you know, and everybody's got poxy flipping allergies and everything else. Because you're not getting the goodness from the fruit, from the veg, from everything. You know, and then when they're not doing that, they're flipping injecting our poor, beautiful little babies, our animals, our, you know, birdies, our creatures great and small. Then they're doing that, aren't they, my delicious little babies? You know what I mean? So you have to see it. There we are. For what it damn well is. We never had as many having allergies as what they got now. We never had so many illnesses as what we got now. We've not had so many out of pocket with your old ching ching skyrockets. My delicious little babies. I mean, just one last thing I want to mention. That kimchi that I mentioned yesterday that I showed you, I can't remember if it was 3.5, 4 kaching that I paid for that, my delicious little babies, okay? And because you can get it from not all supermarkets, okay, my delicious little babies. So, but that's extremely good for you. But anyway, I was mentioning that. I'm mentioning, you know, that I always do things for a reason. To my delicious little babies, yeah. So yeah, so but that's really good. I first heard about she's ever such a good she's one of these you'd see her on Redacted, Martin Little Baby, so you went back in their videos, our lovely Redacted, not in that way, not in that, oh, I love listening to little Natalie and little Clayton, bless you, know, not in that way, not in that way, okay, on YouTube, okay, Martin Little Babies, but originally I seen the same, she's a natural, for natural herbals and remedies and everything, but originally when I seen her was years before on BitChute, Martin Little Babies, because she was on BitChute, somebody uploaded this dear woman now. And then first time I'd ever heard about her kimchi, but I just never got round to buying it, my delicious babies. Well, I am going to try it, but I made an Indian curry today, so I think because I'm going to do a Chinese tomorrow. So I'll probably have it with some rice and everything, okay? It's just like cabbage and white radish and things like this now then, and chili and things like this. So it's pretty spicy, but it's very good for your tummy health. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? You have to ask yourself why, you know, and the Chinese, you know, because I mean, I love seaweed. It's really hard to get hold of seaweed, my delicious babies, but I love the stuff, you know what I mean? I can eat it by the flipping bowlful, do you know what I mean, Magic? Miso, I can get hold of miso. I got miso yesterday, and can make beautiful if ones want to make if they eat fish like myself, you know, fish soup or you know with onion, spring onion, garlic, and things like this, chili and things like this, salt, black pepper like that, or white pepper. Or you can make it as you know a chicken or you know meat soup. But there was one doctor was in Japan and he ate. I mean, I love me, so I love a seaweed. But everything he was mentioning, the top five, I thought, well, I eat that. Do you know what I mean? And the point is, well, he lived till he was 105. Okay, my delicious babies, but like I said, they're not going to put it everywhere. They're not going to, you know, and it's rather expensive to buy. Do you know what I mean? But I thought, finally, there we are, got round to getting one. So I'll have it tomorrow with some rice and everything, what I'm going to do, because I'm making me prawn egg fried rice tomorrow. I haven't made it for a while, actually. So I'm going to have that tomorrow, and then I'm going to have some on the side with a bit of rice and a bit of, you know, do you know what I mean? And then just flipping knock it back. You know what I mean, Martin? Babies, you know, anything to flipping help our health. You know what I mean, Martin? Babies, anyway. So that's the end of my video. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected, and how I love you so. You're all super duper wonderful, super duper beautiful, super duper delicious, and I love you. Okay, and thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, for the occasional comments, and bless you, okay? Because everybody knows my videos just never get out. Okay, my delicious babies, but it's all by design, by design. But there's always someone seeing and there's always someone hearing. Okay, so thank you for that, my little lovelies, whoever you are. Not in that way, not in that way. Until my next video, take care. Thank you. Look after yourselves now and please try to take care of others, okay? Because we are in a bonkers, crackers, crazy world. Love ya. Goodbye.